Well, I look at a lot of figures just in connection with our businesses. I like to get numbers. So I'm getting reports in weekly in some businesses. But that doesn't tell me what the economy is going to do 6 months from now or 3 months from now. It tells me what's going on now with our businesses. And it really doesn't make any difference in what I do today in terms of buying stocks or buying businesses, what those numbers tell me. They're interesting, but they're not guides to me. If we buy a business, we're going to hold it forever. So we're going to have good years, bad years, in between years, maybe a disastrous year some year. And we care a lot about the price. We do not care about the next 12 months.
Let's switch over to talk about buybacks, which is another hot topic these days. And you did a fair amount. If you look in the annual report, you can see that between December 13th and 24th, it looks like you guys bought back about $233 million worth of Berkshire, which was right near that particular stock market bottom. How did you know that? Or what was going through your mind?
That's not a big purchase for us, actually. And no, we will buy Berkshire when we have lots of excess cash. All the needs of the business are taken care of. We spent $14 billion on property, plant, and equipment last year, way more than depreciation. So we take care of the needs of the business. Then we have excess cash. What we'd love to do is find other businesses to buy. But if I think the stock, and my partner Charlie Munger think the stock is selling below intrinsic business value, we will buy in stock.
So it obviously was at that point.
Well, we thought so, yeah. You know, what's really intriguing is when it goes down a lot. I mean, when you're buying dollar bills for 60 or 70 cents, which periodically you get a chance to do in stocks, then, you know, assuming you've got the cash, you don't want to ever, so that some surprise could really take you out in some way. But if we've got excess cash, we'll buy it as fast as we can. It has two objectives with the economy. One is to make sure that this marvelous goose we have keeps laying more golden eggs. And then I want a president that also feels that if GDP is $60,000 per capita in the United States, that nobody should get left behind. We've got a market system that works marvelously in turning out more goods and services, better ones, year after year. I've done it all through my life.
Income inequality, wealth inequality, you've talked about the earned income tax credit. Is there more to it than that? Should we adjust tax policy? It seems to be going the other way right now.
Well, it is going the other way. I think the earned income tax credit is the best way to put money in the pockets of people that don't fit well into the market system, but that are perfectly decent citizens and that have made a good bit of the success, something like I've had with Berkshire or something possible. It wouldn't have happened without the America we have. And if you go back 200 years and we're all working on, 80% of us are working on farms, the person that's the best at that, working on that farm, whatever it may be, is worth maybe twice the one that's the worst. You know? I mean, that's the difference between super talent and no talent in the farm economy, picking cotton or whatever it may be. Now, if you're the best middleweight fighter in the world, you know, you may get $20 or $30 million. And if you are just a good citizen, raise nice kids, help in the neighborhood and everything else, but you don't have market-related skills, you'd be good on that farm still. And you would be earning something comparable to most of the people around you. But you don't have something now that, as it gets more and more specialized, and it's going to continue to get more specialized, you want two things for that person. You want them to have a decent life. I mean, they live in a country with 60,000 of GDP per person. You want them to have a decent life, and they can. I also think you want them to have a feeling of accomplishment. So you want them to have a job, assuming that they're not handicapped in some way. You want them to have a job. But the minimum wage would be one way to say, well, we'll make sure that they have enough money in their pocket. But that's got a lot of effects in disturbing the market system. They just need more cash. They don't need a higher wage, they need more cash in their pocket. And the government, at a relatively low cost, can provide a decent living for anybody that's working 40 hours a week and has a couple of children. And you want them to feel part of the system, and you want to have them get, as more and more of these golden eggs are laid, you want them to get a little more of their share.
Why don't we do an update about the healthcare initiative, which now the company has a name.
Yeah,
Haven. Was that your idea?
No.
Sometimes
no, I didn't worry about a name. We could have gone on as a no-name operation for 10 years, as far as I'm concerned. No, that is, we got a wonderful partnership in the sense that it's large and has reasonable market muscle with more than 1 million employees among the three of us. We've got 3 CEOs that can make things get done in organizations that are so big that normally they would get very bureaucratic. If you tried to do this with many big companies, you'd have legal weighing in and public relations weighing in. We don't have any of that stuff. They may have them in certain areas, but I don't have to. But Jamie isn't going to worry about doing that sort of thing, and neither is Jeff. So we've got a unity of commitment and an ability to execute on the commitment. The only problem is you've got a $3.4 trillion industry, which is as much as the federal government raises every year, that basically feels pretty good about the system.
You talked about the groves of trees in the letter as shareholder. One was the third grove, which was sort of the in-between stakes.
The equity interest.
Yeah, is it the case that those are sort of not the healthiest grove of trees? And why would that be?
No, those Pilot Flying J's they're companies that under GAAP accounting we have to record under an equity method. We own more than 20%, but we don't control them, and so it's treated under GAAP accounting as a special category, and it didn't fit well in the other grove, so I had to make it a separate grove by itself. It's not that significant a grove.